Hey guys, welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. It's George Wright III here with your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education. I hope you're having a great week. I want to talk to you today about a topic that's really important, and it's the amount of stress and anxiety that you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. Now, why do I say that you're dealing with? Well, because if you're any type of a high achiever, any type of a mover and shaker, someone that's an entrepreneur, somebody that's a CEO, the bottom line is this: you're dealing with stress and anxiety. Now, if you're like me, because I've been dealing with it most of my life, you've probably just accepted the fact that you know how to deal with stress and anxiety. And it's one of the things that you use as kind of a strategy sometimes to keep you going. But what I want to do is I want to talk to you today about ways that you can deal with it and the reason that it's so significant. So let me start by just giving you kind of a little bit of a backdrop. I've had several individuals that I know, several close friends that have been dealing with toxic levels of stress in their business, in their environment, everything that they're doing. And I even just had a friend just recently that had a stroke because the level of stress and anxiety over a long period of time, chronic levels, had just affected his health to the point that, your body just can't take it. And it's really been something that's caused a lot of concern for me lately with individuals that I know, and it's brought more awareness for me to the topic. The bottom line is stress and anxiety can affect even the most driven entrepreneur. In today's marketplace, you've got to understand that with the fast-paced economy, with all of the different challenges that are going, and with the difficulty of being able to grow and build your business, stress and anxiety are a real thing. They're no longer just things that you need to learn how to deal with. They can really affect you significantly and people in your life. So let's talk about ways that you can identify, manage, and even maybe use stress and anxiety to create growth, create personal mastery. So, I want to start by saying that stress and anxiety is critically important for you to address. I want you to know, and I want you to hear me when I say that awareness of mental health is growing dramatically. The amount of depression, anxiety, suicide, things that are out there in the marketplace are growing by leaps and bounds. And if you're a driven entrepreneur or CEO, you probably are just used to it. So you're kind of tuned out to it a bit. But it's important for you to learn to manage your stress and anxiety, especially if you're a business owner and CEO, because the stakes are high and the demands on your time are constant. And ignoring this is going to lead to burnout. It's going to lead to poor decisions. It's even going to reduce your productivity. Maybe you're already feeling that on many occasions. But addressing this is not just important, it's critical. And I really want you to take some time and kind of think about what we're talking about here today. Because the impact of stress and anxiety is not just a mental burden. It's going to affect your health. Chronic stress, it leads to a ton of health problems, including heart disease, lower immune function, and even digestive issues. Maybe you've been experiencing that. So if you think about it, anxiety, so stress, I'm talking about stress affecting your body, when you have chronic stress, but anxiety is also the cause of probably insomnia, fatigue, muscle tension. All of these things can also compound mental issues. So if you have trouble or you struggle with keeping your mindset in line, these things are going to add to that. And it's so important that you don't continue to go through these vicious cycles of ups and downs and dealing with stress. Business leaders need to prioritize their health. You've got to prioritize this because your business depends on you. Your teams, your people around you, the people in your life depend on you. And poor health that can be caused by stress and anxiety is going to affect more than just you. So sometimes when you think about that way, you realize the importance of prioritizing this. So let's talk a little bit about identifying some causes and symptoms, because I think, like I said, as an entrepreneur, business owner, a lot of times you just become used to it, right? How often have you just felt like, well, it's just part of the game? Well, it's important for you to take a minute, create some awareness, and understand the causes of your stress and anxiety, not just ways to cope with it. So, triggers that are going to trigger more stress and anxiety are going to be things like financial pressure, your amount of workload, your schedule, your relationship conflicts. See, right now, So many of us are just trying to pack our schedules tight. We're trying to do as much as we can. How hard you work. You take on more responsibilities. Those things can trigger increased levels of stress and anxiety. And maybe you can relate, because symptoms you might be experiencing right now is you might be irritable, you might be tired or fatigued, right? You might have difficulty concentrating. That happens a lot when you're really stressed. It's hard to focus. And these physical problems like headaches or stomach aches or digestive issues, these are all symptoms of too much stress and anxiety. And you have to understand how to identify these triggers and deal with the solutions so you can put strategies in place. And when you break it down like that, you're going to realize that awareness is one of the most important things you can do. And here's the thing. The strategies you put in place should not be just to deal with stress and anxiety. When you realize the significance of the effect it has on your business, your life, and the people around you, you've got to get more proactive about it. I'm trying to get you to really make this a priority. So let's talk for a minute about just some strategies and ways to deal with or even reduce it so that it can give you some processes in your mind to start thinking about. Let's talk about solutions. So time management is big. You've got to learn to prioritize tasks or delegate or delete things that are overwhelming for you. Sometimes it takes just stepping back from your schedule, canceling some appointments, and taking a little bit of time off. Michelle was telling me this other day because we took time off to go to the cabin, and it was a great opportunity for us to just unplug and decompress. We couldn't get cell phone reception up there. It was really nice to be able to do that. And you don't think about the effect that it can have on helping you, but it will make a significant difference just to look at your time management and productivity. And this brings me to the next idea, which is use tools. Use tools to stay organized. Get when you're randomly doing things in your business, you're going to be more scattered. You're going to be more stressed. Use tools to stay organized and to block out your time. Another big one, and this is probably my number one, is exercise regularly. I mean, daily. If you're not exercising daily and you're not staying fit and in shape and physically ready to build, you are never going to grow to the level of leadership that you need to grow to. You've got to work on your health and your exercise. Now, eating is also a key. You got to think about it this way. Your energy, your mood, everything is affected by your food. And so how much water are you getting? What kind of nutritional things are you getting? Are you saying, well, I'm just too busy, I'm going to get fast food? Well, then you need to meal prep. You need to get more organized. One of the things that I do when I'm stressed and anxious is I disconnect my relationship with food. Food is designed to be the energy, fuel that you need for your body to operate at the optimal level. Some of you have too much relationship with food. You enjoy it too much, and yet you're struggling behind the scenes with your stress, your anxiety, and your moods and everything else. Eating is something that you can control. Exercise is something you can control. You may not be able to control the stress and anxiety in your life, but you 100% can deal with it and control your exercise, your food, and your sleep. That's the last thing I was going to mention. Quality sleep, which is hard for entrepreneurs because we don't want to take time. We don't want to get that rest. But not just the amount of sleep, the quality of sleep. Make sure the temperature is cool. Make sure your environment is not one of stress. Don't do work in your bedroom. Don't be on your phone right before you go to sleep. You've got to get proactive. I'm bringing this up because this problem is not going away, and you're not doing enough to deal with it. I know you're thinking about the stress and anxiety you have. I know you're dealing with a lot of pressures, but you've got to take control and responsibility. Remember, I create my life. You take responsibility for your life, one of our prosperity pillars. And the best way you could do that is to start taking control of your time, taking control of your exercise, your eating, and your sleep habits. These are all things that I want you to be aware of and put more time and attention into. Now, one of the main things that I think you can do that's very proactive and in the moment is use a mindfulness practice. The power of mindfulness I cannot overstate. Mindfulness is a powerful tool, and it's nothing. Look, I know there's meditation and affirmations and all these things, but mindfulness is nothing more than trying to get grounded in the present moment, because anxiety and stress is coming from future stuff. Depression, regret, that comes from past stuff. the more you can get grounded in the present, the more you're going to have some peace of mind and balance. But you can do it a lot of ways. You can do it through meditation. If you're not good at meditating, because I never have been, then find some guided meditation. Or worst case scenario, because you can do yoga, you could do mindfulness activities, but worst case scenario, the minimum thing you need to do is you need to practice some breathing exercises. Just take a minute and take, 8 or 10 slow breaths in and take long breaths out. Or, the bottom line is you always want to breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. That physical activity actually affects your mental and physical well-being. So breathing exercises are great to do. But all reduction of stress will help you to give more peace of mind. It'll help you to calm your mind. That's the whole point here. So I would encourage you to make mindfulness a daily routine. And by the way, if it doesn't, motivate you enough to know that your stress and anxiety can go down, just know that mindfulness also has a ton of other benefits. You can improve your focus, you improve your resilience, you improve your inner peace. There's so many reasons to do that, but I can't, like I said, overemphasize enough the power of mindfulness. But the final thought I want to leave you with, and I'm going to let you go here, is that you've got to know you're not alone. Stress and anxiety and, mental, depression and things like that, you're not alone. This is a common thing that a lot of people deal with. You don't need to go about it alone, and I encourage you to get support and help. Surround yourself with the right, happy, positive types of people, and build a network around you of these people so that you can lean on them when you need to. But the worst thing you can do, and it's something a lot of people do, I do it myself, is when you're overwhelmed and stressed, you don't want to deal with people, so you isolate a little bit. You just wrap yourself into your schedule. You don't pick your head up at all to take a breath. But you've got to learn not to isolate yourself. You've got to surround yourself with a network of people that are going to help you to recognize when you're struggling and help you to get past it. So this is a topic I'm going to hit again and again, but I want you to stop for a minute and really analyze if there's any triggers and symptoms in your life and what you could do about it, because you're just too important not to prioritize this. And you affect, especially if you're listening to this podcast, I know you're affecting so many lives. You're a leader, you're a driver, you're a high achiever, you're an entrepreneur or a business owner or a CEO. You need to prioritize this. So please do what you can for that. It's one of the reasons why I have actually really prioritized the launch and growth of our Mastermind Academy, because I want to give you resources that you can plug into. And so, stay tuned. There's a lot of things coming up. We've got a live event in August. We've got a couple of high-end masterminds. But at the end of the day, I'm glad you're here. I appreciate you being part of the podcast. I appreciate you listening. I know that the support from you means the world to me, but I also think that it helps a lot of people in your environment. So do me a favor, if you haven't already, share the show. Let me know how you're doing. Hit me up on the Daily Mastermind. You can hit me up on, Facebook, Instagram. You can email me directly. I always put my personal email address in the show notes, and I look forward to talking with you soon. Have an amazing day. Once again, my name is George Wright III. This has been the Daily Mastermind. Talk soon.